everyone, welcome back to my channel and part 2 of the Q&A. If you're new here, my name is Kayla. I am a wife, mom, and lover of all things Disney and travel, and I'm so happy to have you here. Over on Instagram, I asked you guys to submit some questions so that you could get to know me a little bit better, and I'm really hoping down in the comments I'll be able to get to know you guys a little bit better too. So please, as we go along, answer some of these questions down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts on all of the things that you asked as well. Let's start where we left off with Disney. So where do you start when you begin planning or outlining your own trips? So the first thing that I look at is our dates. I look to see when we are able to travel. And then the next thing I look to see is what's going on in Walt Disney World when we are able to go. So for example, does our travel dates correspond with a Run Disney marathon event or a large cheerleading competition? So I really like to know what's going to be going on during those days so I can kind of gauge crowd levels and see if we want to brave those crowds or try to travel at a different time. The next thing that I look at is our budget. So we do actually have a budget for travel and an allocation, a separate account for our trips. So I look to see how much can we spend on a particular trip. That will kind of gauge the length of time that we can go. And there's so many different things to take into consideration when budgeting for a Walt Disney World vacation. Your resort, your tickets, any extra events you would like to attend, like a fireworks dessert party or an after hours party like the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Dining, so I try to take a look and average how many quick service meals are we going to be eating? How many table service meals are we going to be eating? Are there groceries that we can have delivered or pick up, since we typically drive at the grocery store before we head to our resort, that will help kind of cut down a little bit on that cost of food on Walt Disney World property. You're also going to want to look at transportation. So if you're driving to Walt Disney World like we do, there is a parking fee per night. Of course, if you're flying, you'll want to take into consideration your airline flights, that cost, as well as transportation to the resort and back to the airport at the end of your vacation. So a lot of different things go into budgeting for our Walt Disney World vacation, but that's the second thing I look at. And then the third thing that I kind of keep in mind are, what are our goals for a trip? And I know it sounds weird to set a goal for a vacation, like it's a vacation, the goal is to go and get away from real life. I think that it's really important to just kind of know like what you want to get out of this trip. Is this trip supposed to be a thrill-seeking trip where you're seeking out all of those dips and turns on roller coasters, or is this an experiences trip where you're wanting to meet a bunch of characters or see a ton of the different parades? So really kind of gauging what your must-haves and your must-dos are for a trip, I think is important too when you start off planning. So those are the three things, dates, budget, and goals, that I look at before starting to plan a Walt Disney World vacation. Number one piece of advice for taking a baby or toddler to Disney. I think my number one piece of advice has to be manage your expectations. So when we went to Disney World for the first time with our son, I had these lofty goals of we were going to wake up early and we were going to get there for rope drop, and our son was going to take his naps in the stroller, and we were going to make it to fireworks, and it was just going to be this go, 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 do it all, see it all trip. And because that's the way that we usually do Disney as adults. We go from rope drop to fireworks. We pack as much in as we can. And with a baby or a toddler, that's just not going to be the reality. When we got to Walt Disney World that first day, we quickly realized that our son was overtired, he was overstimulated, and he was not going to nap in his stroller. And so we really had to reevaluate our goals for the trip and reevaluate them quickly. And when we did that and we realized, let's slow down, let's go at his pace. And his pace was to sleep in. His pace was to do a few things in the morning and then go back to the resort for his nap. His pace was to get up and go back and do a few more things, maybe a dining reservation in the evening that we were able to accomplish, and then go back to the resort and just relax for the evening. We did not make it to fireworks. That just wasn't our reality. All that to say, we still had an absolutely amazing time when we slowed down and went at his pace and did things just in his time. And we have memories that will last a lifetime. So with that being said, I really wish I had managed my expectations going into it so that I didn't have that kind of let down feeling that first day of, what am I doing wrong? Why isn't anything going right? But once we reevaluated, the next few days were just magical. They were just magical. So I really think that's my number one piece of advice. The ride you are most excited to take your son on in the near future and when he's tall enough. And then similarly, what ride are you most excited for your baby to experience once they are older? So if you wonder why I keep looking down, I realized I didn't explain that in this video. I actually film on my phone, so I typed up some of your questions and I have them down here. I am most excited for our son, I think, to ride Dumbo again. That little boy got so excited in the queue waiting to ride Dumbo and just thoroughly enjoyed that ride. So I'm excited to see him ride that again. On our next trip, he'll be 2. So I think that will be really, really fun. And then when he gets older, I'm excited to take him on roller coasters. My husband's not as big into roller coasters, but I love them. And so I'm excited to take him on all of the mountains, Splash, Space, Thunder, even just the Barnstormer, just to see how he reacts and how he responds to roller coasters. I think is going to be really fun. Does your husband love Disney as well? I don't know the word love yet. I think we're at a very strong like. So my husband and I went on our first trip to Disney as a couple in 2018, and we had the best time. And we've gone several times just as a couple and with friends, and then now with our son. And every time we go, I think he falls a little bit more in love or in like with Disney. So he didn't grow up going to Disney like I did. He's not from a Disney family, if you will. But slowly but surely I am converting him. And after our last trip, he even made the comment, like, I can see why so many people love this place. So we're getting there. We're getting there. The next questions focus on mom life. So honest and unfiltered view on motherhood, as expected, harder or easier. I don't think there is anything in the world that can prepare you for motherhood. It is harder than I expected. It is the most challenging thing that I have ever done, bar none, but is also the most rewarding thing, and the thing that brings me the most joy that I've ever done. And I feel so blessed to be that little boy's mom. But it is definitely hard. And I had a rough road with postpartum depression and anxiety. And I'm really just now, even almost 2 years later, getting to the other side of it. So I think that was a challenge I wasn't expecting. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it. And it's kind of a taboo subject. But I'm so happy that I have kind of made it to the other side. I just absolutely love being a mom, and he is worth all of the hard times, and he just brings us so much joy. Favorite memory so far with your son? Oh my goodness, you guys. Oh, that's such a hard one. One of my favorites, just being out here in the backyard with him. I remember about a year ago, it had cooled off and we came outside and I put a blanket down and he just laid and there was a breeze and he was laying there and he was watching the leaves sway, and it was a light bulb moment for me as a mom of, this is my son's happy place. This is where I can bring him to help regulate his emotions. This is where I can bring him when he's bored. This is where I can bring him to just explore and learn and grow. And so for me, it really just has been such a special memory to have that moment with him and to just realize that this is his happy place. That's probably one of my favorites. What is your go-to workout with a toddler? I just now honestly started getting back into working out. So I have to say that my go-to workout is walking. He's mobile now, so we will just take off and go on a walk. I can put him in a stroller and go off on a walk. And then we also have this trike that he can ride. And I push him, I guess. He's not riding on his own yet, but a trike that he will ride. It's just been a great way for us to get outside, breathe some fresh air, get some vitamin D, and get a little bit of exercise in. So that's probably my go-to right now. So next we'll move on to some thought-provoking questions. What do your 3 closest friends have in common besides you? I thought that was such a neat question. It really makes you think. So I think my 3 closest friends are all incredibly generous with their time, with their talents, with their gifts, with their love, with their support. They are just genuinely generous human beings. They are just tried and true women. They will support you through the tough times. They will lift you up during those difficult moments. They will be there for you no matter what, even when you're wrong. They never waver. They are just incredibly, incredibly loyal. And then the last one I would say would be understanding. They, even if, as bad as it sounds to say, life gets in the way and we go a few months without talking, they get it. They understand. And we can pick up right where we left off, like no time has passed. And yeah, I'm just really thankful for them. So if y'all are watching, I love ya. If you could have a conversation with your younger self, what's the one thing you would say to her? I would tell my younger self that she is enough. You are enough. You don't have to strive for perfection. You don't have to be someone that you're not. You don't have to try to attain goals that aren't your own just to make others proud. That you, in and of yourself, just who you are, sorry, I'm getting a little emotional, is enough. And you are worthy, you are loved, and you're enough. Okay, let's move on to some fun questions to close out this Q&A. Are you type A or type B? I am definitely type A. Always have been, always will be. But definitely a type A personality. Do you enjoy cooking? No. No, I do not. We joke in our family that it skips the generation. So my understanding is that my great-grandmother was an incredible cook. She could make noodles from scratch and biscuits from scratch and just was this amazing cook. And she passed that on to my mom. But my mom's mom, she could cook, but it wasn't something that she loved and she was passionate about and she enjoyed doing. My mom, she is an incredible cook. Oh my goodness. Everything that she makes is delicious. And she is an amazing baker. So like her cookies and treats and brownies and pumpkin logs, and I'm just thinking of all of the things that she makes for the holidays, and I cannot wait. I probably need to go on a walk so that I can eat some of those things. But she's an amazing cook, and I truly love watching her cook and the joy that it brings her and the love that she pours into her food. So thank you, Mom. I love everything that you make, and I'm sorry that I didn't get that inherited to me. Cooking just stresses me out, but I truly enjoy watching my mom cook. What's your favorite musical? Oh my goodness, do I have to pick one? I think for a long time I was obsessed with The Music Man. I got to see Showboat, which was just incredible. I got to see Beauty and the Beast in New York, which was just what I think sparked my love. I think it was maybe 5 or 6, and it just sparked my love for musicals and of course Disney. But I think right now, if I had to pick one, and maybe it's just because the holidays are coming up, but The Sound of Music I think is my favorite one right now. Let's see, your comfort movie. It's funny because it was just on Inside is Sweet Home Alabama. I could watch that every single day. It just gives me that feel-good feeling. So that's definitely my comfort movie. And then the last but not least, what are you currently reading? So I love that question. At People Mover Travel, we as a team got together and decided to create a book club. So right now our book club is reading Disney's Land, and it just walks through the creation of Disneyland and Walt's vision, and it has this undercurrent of just an underlying message of perseverance and just never giving up on your dreams. And it's been such a pleasure to read. I have learned so much, and it's really encouraged me to just persevere and to continue to pursue this channel. This has been a dream for such a long time. It's just really encouraged me to keep going and to continue to do something that I love. Thank you guys so much again for submitting these awesome questions. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk with you today. I would love for you to answer some of these down in the comments below. What are you reading? What's your comfort movie? What's your favorite ride at Walt Disney World? Leave some of those answers down below so that I can get to know you better. I hope you'll subscribe and stick around. Hit that notification bell so you know when I upload additional videos. I hope you like this video and that you'll give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.